Hello everyone, I'm the Tuna Whale, and I'm here with another episode of Fire Emblem Three Houses. As I said last time, we're going to explore more of the monastery, and every month you'll get 1,000 gold from the monastery, basically to fund your monthly activities.
Say, while you're here, I'd like to use this device I designed to determine whether the power of a crest resides within you. Won't hurt a bit. Promise. You don't know about crests? Well, allow me to tell you everything, absolutely everything about them. Is your calendar clear? This will take a while. Crests are a fascinating topic, but before one can dive deeply into said topic, one must first understand what crests are. They are power incarnate. They are said to have been bestowed upon humans by the goddess countless ages ago. They exist within the flesh and are passed down through bloodlines. Those who carry crests may excel at magic, display exceptional strength, or any number of boons. Each crest has its own power, the nature of which is beyond mortal understanding. For now.
And you believe I have a crest?
I suspect as much, yes. But we won't know for sure unless I look into the matter. As I said, crests are passed down through the blood. However, just because someone carries a crest does not necessarily mean their descendants will inherit it as well. Only a scarce few descendants of a crest's bloodline end up inheriting that crest's power. Perhaps one of your ancestors bore a crest, and you just happen to inherit it. That is how a crest usually presents itself, after all.
Do what you can to find out.
Yes, of course. I'll get to the bottom of it straight away. Now then, please go ahead and hold out your arm over this device here. What is this? A pattern I've never seen before. Is it possible an as-yet undiscovered crest has been detected? To think there are still crests out there that even I am unaware of. How thrilling! Pardon my unrestrained jubilation. I have much to consider. You may leave now. I have more research to do in regard to this crest. Yes, so very much more research. But for now, your work here is done. What could this line here be indicating? Perhaps it represents a lack of symmetry. Or perhaps... What in the world? Oh, I see. It may be connected to that, but to a greater degree than usual.
So, here's one of the main mechanics of Fire Emblem Three Houses. Not uniforms, not DLC, not auxiliary battles, not house loungewear, not changing unit appearance, though that's actually really cool. Not recruiting Anna, whoever that is. Not additional quests, oh my god. Not changing the attire of the units. Not the Solstice regalia, not the dancer ensemble. Not a quest in Chapter 5 or so on.
With each moon, professors of the Officers' Academy receive a schedule for the month ahead. It notes the days on which events and missions will take place that month. Pay careful attention to your schedule, so that you may thoughtfully plan what you intend to do each month, and when.
So, as Rhea said, we have the calendar here. It basically tells us what's going to happen every day. Usually we only have to worry about the weekends and Mondays, but I'll explain more so what can happen on either those days, maybe more options. Right now we can explore. These other options are grayed out. Let's say I want to rest, I can't, so because there's work to be done. Let's explore the monastery. So this is my room. I thought I heard a girl's voice, but it must have imagined things. So this video isn't going to be one with comment. We're just going to be exploring this monastery that we're part of. Maybe there's no better place to start other than talking to Eseda.
These are the students' quarters. To better help you supervise them, you also have a room here. Your room is here at the end. Commoner students also reside on the first floor, while the second is primarily for students of noble birth. As a rule, we try to avoid discrimination based on social status here, but the nobility can be quite insistent when it comes to matters of propriety. Speaking of, it would be best for you to avoid improper conduct. I expect you to set a good example for the students.
I'm gonna be the best. I can't say that, Professor. Because we have more time, let's
I'm
talk to the
not too
students.
keen on the professor of my class. I really hope to focus more on strategy. Maybe I should talk to my professor about transferring to a different class.
Remember that for later, because that's actually pretty important, and it's a big mechanic of this game. Let's talk to the dude here, because he has a quest for us.
Let me know when you are hungry. I will make you a quality meal, as thanks for your service to His Highness.
He
I
has a
have a
quest, and
request.
it's apparently to go to the greenhouse and take his seeds to harvest some crops. So let's get his seeds, and let's
I
talk to
heard about
Dimitri.
the upcoming mock battle. I want you to know, Professor, that I do not intend to lose. I hereby declare my intention to prevail at... Goodness, listen to me. The thrill of competition has carried me away. I won't speak so formally of a class assignment in the future.
It's good to have some competitive spirit, because it helps you drive you forward. If we look on the minimap, we can see everywhere the students want to talk to us, and here we have Claude talking to Hilda.
Hey, Teach. I hear there's gonna be a mock battle between the houses. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit concerned about facing an elite mercenary like you. Maybe take it easy on us. What do you say?
Let's talk to
Oh,
Hilda.
Professor, have you adjusted to life at the academy yet? Me, I'm still not used to it. I'm not one for all this studying and training.
So how these days at the monastery gonna usually go? On the first day of every month, I'm gonna go walk around the monastery and figure out what each student has for us and what they have to talk about current events. Here we are passing by the dormitories, and we can see all the buildings that the students sleep in here. Over there we have Leonie, so let's talk to her because she's along our way.
I'm Captain Gerald's first and best apprentice. I can beat anyone, Professor. Even you if I have to. It may have been only for a short time, but I learned from the absolute best.
Let's talk to Sylvain over here. And he has a quest for us.
Well, there's Dorothea, Hilda, and Mercedes. Lady Rhea's quite the beauty, too. And I must admit, I've even checked out Professor Manuela once or twice. You know, Professor, I think I'm going to like it at the Officers' Academy. There are beautiful girls as far as the eye can see.
Well, at least he has a quest
Professor,
for us.
I've got a small favor to ask.
It's to share a meal with some of the students. So we might as well do that.
Well,
Can
you
we
know,
do that
Professor...
yet? No, we can't. Alright. If you see, we talked to him again, he has the same thing to tell us. There's also someone we could talk to back there, but here we are at the greenhouse and the fishing pond. Greenhouse self-explanatory, fishing pond also self-explanatory. I'll get into more so the specifics once we start using each service. Fishing is probably going to happen a fair bit later, but let's talk to Linhart, because he's right here.
The Great Tree Moon is the best time of the year for naps. I could just forget all about my assignment.
Now I'm feeling sleepy too. I'll be honest, if I was responsible, I'd be taking a nap, but unfortunately, because I figured I'm going to bring my Switch with me and I'm going outside, I'm going to have to do this part up until at least we get to a decent point to end. So let's talk to Ash, because he's also here, try to get our mind off that.
Oh, did you come to look at the plants too? The greenhouse here is really incredible. There are so many rare flowers I'd never seen back home, and herbs I never even knew existed.
I never had.
That's normal.
So,
They all looked the same to me before I really studied them. You should try looking around the greenhouse sometime if the mood strikes you. Maybe something will catch your eye.
So as you saw when we talked to Linhart, we got a little, I think in the bottom left, there's like a little square with an arrow and a heart, Linhart's beautiful face. And when we talked to Ash and we answered this question, there was no such thing. Depending on your answer to the students and what they have, it usually depends on whatever the personality is. For example, even though Linhart has some drive for some things, he really likes napping. So we wanted to choose the option for napping. And for Ash, well, I chose wrong, but it's fine. You don't need it for any kind of thing in the game. It just makes things very slightly easier, but it's not that easier. Anyway, let's talk to the greenhouse keeper and do some gardening. I'll explain this myself, but basically you can plant some seeds, you plant the seeds, and they get planted. Next time you go to the monastery, yeah. Next time we go to the monastery, you'll be able to harvest them. We can also cultivate them, we can infuse them with magic, or we can Professor level 2 low them. Of course, because Professor level 2 low, what that actually means is that we're not cool enough Professor to do any of this stuff, but we might as well infuse with magic because it doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost us any money. And we'll make sure next time we do this, we'll come over and harvest the seeds. You can also see that because we complete the customer to do, we get some seeds and we got some food. We'll get to more so what we can do with that later.
Maybe.
Anyway, here's the fisherman. We'll get into that later, but we might as well talk to Marianne because he's here.
Goddess,
or she's here.
I pray to thee. Please protect us.
May the gods protect us all. Is there anyone else here? No. And then there's a person here being like, you can't pass here because you don't have business here. There's a time and place for everything, but now's not the time nor the place.
The Imperial Princess, the Crown Prince, and the heir to the Alliance's leading house. This is one exceptional year, that's for sure. If you're a teacher here, you better watch your step. If anything were to happen to those kids, well, suffice to say that it could harm the reputation of the Church of Saros, which we've spent almost a millennium establishing.
Don't worry, I know how to take care of a student or two. Anyway, let's go up to the dining hall because Sylvain had a quest for us to do up there to take a meal with one of our students. Let's talk to Flame here.
Well, I call you that, but I am afraid I am not a student here myself.
That's a
Should
shame.
the opportunity arise, I would love to become a student and begin my studies in earnest. The monastery is kind enough to provide a sanctuary for my brother and I. He's the only family I have.
Well, that's a bit
Might you help me with a favor?
Flame wants us to catch a fish. I guess now's a decent enough time to explain fishing. I'll do this quest a bit off screen because I figure I'm gonna have some time after this. But you go fishing. You've selected the bait you want to use. Oh, never mind. We only have one chance to do this. So we wait until the fish bites. Press A, and then fish up the fish. As you can see, we have Bailiff's health, and I can get good. Oh, right. Recording delay. Let's pretend that that's why I'm missing these. Anyway, we get a fish for Flame, and let's go over there and show it to her. Run up these stairs, run over here, and here we go, Flame, your fish. Here we get a formal introduction to the dining hall. Of course, we have Raphael here. We also can see Felix is there. And we can see ourselves over there in the background. We can see Petra. All kinds of students here in the dining hall because, I mean, it's where you eat. Everyone has to eat. Let's talk to Felix here.
I'm busy. Do you want something?
I was hoping to
I
spar
can't
with
right
you.
now, but let's fight soon. I look forward to beating you.
We'll see who wins next time we fight.
Ugh, I really need to eat. I can't hold out until the next meal. Why can't the dining hall stay open all the time? I need to keep eating if I want to get stronger.
That would be nice if plates were open all the time, but also the staff would be having nightmares of just never being able to go to sleep. Anyway, let's have a meal. As you can see here, we have students with arrows and students with faces. Basically, what the face means is their motivation. We'll get into more so how that helps us in, I think, the next episode, probably. But, as you can see, if we share a meal with our students, what's basically going to happen is that their motivation is going to be filled up. And we're going to get some affinity with them. We'll get into more so what that helps us with later with affinity. But we can also share with students outside of our class to try to build up their affinity. Again, I'll tell you what building up affinity with students outside your class does. But inside your class, I'll get into that later because affinity doesn't have any direct, result of what happens. At least we can't see the direct fruits of our labor right now. Let's share a meal with Edelgard and Bernadetta. In hindsight, I should probably have had a meal with Dorothea, but eh.
Oh, I love this meal. How did you know?
Ooh, this is my favorite. You've got great taste.
And our bonds grow stronger. And they get more motivated. And we become a better professor. We now have more activity points for exploring, whatever that means. And we have more monthly funds. So if you remember, we got 1,000 monies.
I knew I could count on you.
We got 1,000 monies for at the beginning of the month. Now we'll get more monies. And yes, I'm gonna say monies because nobody's here to stop me. Anyway, let's talk to Petra.
Professor,
I hope you know I am having great abilities for reading and writing. With sadness, I still have struggles with speaking. If my ways of speech are causing a burden, I hope you will have forgiveness.
Don't worry, I'm trying to learn a language myself, and I'll tell you, it is not easy at all. Let's open up the map with R, and we can see everywhere we can go. I forgot to talk to one student, and it's a student I don't want to forget to talk to. Let's go over here, past these hedges, find an opening here to go back to the dormitories and talk to that one student we missed. Here we are, and she's inside her room. It's Bernadetta.
I don't like to come out unless I really have to. Hope you're okay with that, Professor.
Don't worry, that's fine. We all have our reasons for staying inside. Especially now, but I won't go into more because I don't really want to date this video too much or make people think about things that are happening. Anyway, here you can see we have the magical blue glowing dots of magic. We can get a smithing stone and some tea leaves. We'll get into more so what those can do for us later. We can't even do anything with them now, but remember both those items for later because they are helpful. Anyway, we can see there's someone here who we can talk to. It's the gatekeeper.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. By the by, have you ever regretted a decision and wished you could go back and undo it? It's too bad there's no lesson for how to turn back the old clock, huh? But I suppose a bad decision isn't worth all that fuss anyhow.
Yeah, it would take the power of a god in order to go back in time. Anyway, here we go back to the reception hall and we can speak to Annette here.
Hello, Professor. I have a teeny tiny question for you, if that's alright. You haven't seen a man with hair the same color as mine, a scowling face, and a generally gloomy demeanor, have you?
Looking for
Well,
someone?
yes. It's a bit difficult to explain. Please just let me know if you do see him, okay?
But of course, if I see anyone matching the description, I'll tell you. Here we have Ren to
As
talk
part
to.
of our commitment to the goddess, the knights undertake various missions across all of Fodland. Assisting with the education of young nobles is also a part of our sacred duty.
We're gonna go up here and talk to whoever's over here. Who wants to talk to? A priest?
I hear a member of House Fresfeld, the ruling family of the Empire, has entered the Officers' Academy for the first time in ages. It is said that the Adrestian Empire's very founding was aided by none other than Saint Seros. That is why the crest of Seros is on the Imperial flag. In recent years, a rift has developed between the Empire and the Church. Let us hope this will be a good opportunity for both parties to reforge their close relationship of years past.
And let's talk to this
Here's
monk
an
in the
idea.
back.
There are two types of crests. Major crests manifest their power most effectively, while minor crests are slightly weaker. It is said that the closer a person's blood relation is to various saints and heroes, the higher their chance of bearing a major crest. Of course, there are also examples of major crests manifesting in children whose parents bear no crest whatsoever. The exact nature of how and why crests are inherited is still a mystery.
Food for thought. Over here, Lycentia.
Hi, Professor. Have you gotten around to visiting the library yet? It's absolutely loaded with valuable information. I only wish I wasn't burdened with the necessity of sleep, so I could spend all my hours there.
You like
In a
reading?
manner, yes. But it's more that I want to learn as much as I possibly can.
Interesting. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to sleep too, because then I'd have to make the decision of whether I want
That's
to
so.
do this or I want to sleep and get ready for school. But let's go over here to Ferdinand.
Let me tell you the provenance of our class name. The eagle. That refers to the twin-headed eagle on the Adrestian Empire's coat of arms. And black is the traditional color of the Empire's armor. Hence, black eagles.
Sure, if you say so. Black is totally the color of Adrestian forces. We definitely shouldn't think it's red or something. Anyway, let's talk to Ingrid.
The Blue Lion House derived its name from the honorary title of the first king of Fargus. Lug, the king of lions, wore brilliantly blue garments. His chivalric exploits are recorded in multiple legends. The library holds various historical accounts regarding him and the Blue Lions. If you find time, You should read them. They're filled with insights.
I'll try to make time for that.
Right.
Here we have Mercedes staring at the window.
Before I came to the Officers Academy, I attended a school of magic in the Kingdom Capital. That's where I met Annie. That's what I call Annette. Oh, I guess Lawrence was at the School of Magic too. But Annie was always just so nice to me, even though I was older. She's my best friend in the world.
It's nice to have friends to talk to, it truly is. Dorothea's standing outside.
Hi, Professor. How are you doing? If you're not busy, would you like to join me on a little trip into town? If I'm cooped up in this dusty old monastery for too long, it drives me absolutely crazy.
And let's enter the classroom of the Golden Deers to see what's going on in there. We have Ignatz and Lorenz looking at some books.
This is the Golden Deer House. You're in charge of a different house, right? Too bad we won't see more of each other. I'm happy to learn from you if the opportunity comes up.
That'd be nice.
Our house is that of the Golden Deer. Do you know the significance of that name, Professor? Golden deer are sacred creatures, said to have protected Leicester since time immemorial. All three of the houses have a meaning behind their name. You should feel free to ask around if that sort of knowledge interests you.
Well, we already learned about the other two houses. Now we can see that behind the classrooms, some people are talking. You can also see on the mini-map that there are blue dots and orange dots. Blue dots are members of your house, and orange dots are members of other houses, or just other people in general who aren't just randoms. White are just randoms. Here we have Professor Yuritsa.
I care nothing of friendship. If you have no business here, leave.
Well, hello to you too. There's nothing up here for us yet, but remember that later. There's some person up here, but remember that place later because it's actually really helpful, especially later on. Now we have Casper looking at Yuritsa.
Wow, Yuritsa sure seems strong. I kind of thought he was going to be the new professor assigned to our class. After that teacher ran away during our outdoor training, I figured Yuritsa was a natural replacement. I was surprised when you were suddenly appointed professor instead. I don't think I could hold my own against Yuritsa in battle. I could probably take you, though.
Not a
You really
chance.
think so? With enough training, I'm sure I'll beat you someday.
Sure, if you say so, kiddo. Anyway, here we have Edelgard and Hubert.
Some believe the dignity of the Empire rests on the results of the mock battle. That's an overstatement, of course. Still, we must do our best to prevail. You should take the time to learn each student's abilities. Perhaps some extra lessons and training sessions are in order? You look as if you have no idea what's going on here. I know my way around, so I'm happy to help you find your footing.
Nah, I explain these things myself. Facilities are basically like the dining hall, greenhouse, other things you can do some certain actions in. There are more, of course, but we'll get into that when they open up. Bulletin board and quest. The bulletin board will tell you where all the quests are, and it'll basically teleport you to the same room that they're in. Activity points. If you remember, I had a big 1 at the screen after I took that dinner, or lunch, or meal. It went down to 0. Activity points determine how many things you can do around the monastery, because certain things will consume activity points. And professor level, that's just how cool of a professor you are. It opens up various things, like opening up the shop selections, gives you more activity points, other things like that. But, yep. When we're done with exploring and have gotten everything done, we can press L, but there's one less person we haven't talked to.
Dimitri and Claude are the leaders of the other two houses. Do not underestimate them. When we take the field, it would be best not to engage the both of them at once.
We'll see about that. Anyway, I'm gonna open up the map. Oh, there's one person down there I haven't talked to, but after we talk to them, I'm gonna end the video there because I want to make this video a lot shorter, even though it looks like it's gonna be 25 minutes long-ish. That's much better than the 50 minutes of the last video. I just edited that thing and oh boy, that was a long video and there was really much I could do about it. And here's Cyril.
I'm a little busy.
Hi, little busy. I'm Byleth.
If you're looking
sorry.
for the greenhouse, it's right there. See it? Looks like a greenhouse. That's it.
Alright, I'm sorry about the stupid dad joke. I had to. Whenever someone says I'm hungry and I like to say hi hungry, I'm Tuna. Except not Tuna, I said my actual name. I know, big surprise, my actual name's not Tuna. But anyway, next time we'll be figuring out what happens when we press this mysterious L button and finish exploring. See you guys then.